Hi, today we're going to talk about how to fill in and transmit your ELOG to the DFO on the mobile, and specifically about the ELOG crab in the Maritimes region. After signing in on the app, you'll be on this page, and where we want to go is to press the new trip button on the bottom left corner. On the next page is your overarching trip information. You can see that the first two are in a gray box. That means it's predetermined by the system and you cannot change them. The very first one, unique identifier of the electronic logbook, is important. It identifies which one you're filling, and if a fishery officer ever asks you if you're filling it in, you have proof and you can tell them, yes, I'm filling in this one named EAATEH, and that'll be different for every single logbook for everyone. The trip number is not as important. It just tells you how many trips you filled out in your logbook, and that includes trips that are open or that are not sent. And the next thing you want to fill in is your date time of the start of the trip. That means when you leave the wharf. And if you press on it, a date time picker is going to pop up. It's going to by default put in the current time, but you can change it to any time you want. Just click on the dates and scroll on the time wheel and you can put in any time. But please note, you can only put in time in the past and not in the future. And the next thing we want to fill out is license number. When I click on the field license number, my license number would be already there as an option. That's because I've previously set it up in the setup wizard. And to see how to do that, please see our other YouTube videos on how to set up. As you can see, some of the fields have already been pre-filled. That's because I've done this form before, and the system remembers my last selection and it'll help me fill in fields so that I don't have to keep filling in the same information over and over again. Some of the names of the field look confusing, like unique identifier of the subform version. If you just click on the field, a bunch of options would show and it would make more sense. It's just asking where you're fishing, and I'm going to choose maritime crabs. And lastly, I would want to fill in the VRN. And again, if I clicked on the VRN, a bunch of mine would show up because I've previously set it up. I'll choose one, and now I'm done. And I'll click Save and Validate on the bottom left. And you can see after I've done that, it says validated on the top. That means everything's correct and I'm good to go to the next page. It's always easier to stay here, fix all your problems until it's validated, then move on. And now I'm going to click Save and Exit on the bottom right. Now I can choose what kind of child forms I want in my trip. So usually you need your effort, your landing, and your hail-in for this region of the Maritimes. So I'm going to do the effort form first by clicking the plus sign next to effort, and I'll be taken to the effort page. And I'm going to start filling it out from the first one, start date and time of fishing effort. The date time picker works the same as the first one you filled in. The important thing here to remember is that they all need to be in chronological order, at least 1 minute apart. So you need to say that you have started fishing at least 1 minute after you've left the wharf. Next, I'm gonna fill in my management area. And next are the yes or no questions, asking if you've seen a species at risk, lost fishing gear, or seen a marine mammal. And if you click no, nothing happens. If you click yes, a banner up top will remind you to fill out a different form, and that form will be under new form next to new trip. I'm going to say no for now and continue on filling it out. Next field I need to fill in is target species, and I'm going to choose snow crab. Then I'm going to keep scrolling down and choose my fishing gear. And the size of the traps. Continuing on, the date time of fishing. That's when you haul your first pot. Again, it needs to be at least 1 minute later than the time you've listed above. Next is the soak duration of the gear. The unit is in days. Moving on, we have the NAFO area and the longitude and latitude. For the lat and long, you can press on the GPS button to get the location of where you currently are, or you can just type it in. And even if you did press on the GPS button, you can still change it and modify it to where you are. And next is the number of gears hauled. And the average gear depth. And the unit of that can be changed in the settings, which is also in another video. We have fathoms available. Next we have catch, and we're saying we caught some snow crab for the species. And we're also going to declare an estimated kept weight. The next one, number of species discarded, does not have a star next to it. That means it's not mandatory, and I'm going to skip it and go straight to product form. Lastly, I'm going to fill out the end date time of fishing effort. That's when you hauled your last pot, and again, it needs to be at least 1 minute later than the time above. Now that I've done that, I'm going to click Save and Validate. And yeah, you see on top there's a green banner. It says Validated, and we can move on to the next page and click Save and Exit. And the next one we want to fill out is landing. So we click plus next to landing. This one's really simple. It's just 2 fields. Again, the first date time picker there, it needs to be at least 1 minute later than the time you set on your effort. And now I just want to show you what it's like when you don't fill something in that's mandatory. So I'm going to click Save and Validate without filling port of landing. And you can see at the top there, it's saying validation error, port of landing is mandatory. That means we haven't filled it out when we need to. I'm just going to put one in and click Save and Validate one more time. And now the banner up top is green and it says validated. That means I'm good to move on to the next page and click Save and Exit. And now I want to add a hail-in. Again, I'll press the plus next to hail-in, and I'll choose a company that issued my hail-in number. I'll put in the hail-in number. Then I'm going to click Save and Validate. Once it's green and validated up top there, I'm going to click Save and Exit. And now I have 3 forms on my trip. So now I'm satisfied with the amount of forms I have within my trip. 1 effort, 1 landing, and 1 hail-in. I'm going to move on to the next step of sending this to the DFO, and I'm going to do that by clicking the bottom right Finish Trip Log button. On this page, it'll show me all the forms I've filled in, so 1 effort, 1 hail-in, and 1 landing, and then I can review all of my answers. And if I see any mistakes, I can just click on Edit and it'll bring me to that form where I can change my answers. And it's important to review it now because once you've closed it, there's no way to delete or edit any of these records. Once you're confident that it's all correct, you can click Close. And the pop-up is just reminding you again that you cannot delete or change anything after it's been closed. I'm going to click Yes, and the last step is to click Transmit. Once you've hit Transmit, it will be sent to the DFO.